everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie, and it's a beautiful Thursday, and I have a guest. Her name is Kio. She looks amazing. You have to say, wow, Kio, she looks so amazing. You're looking so hot, Kio. You really are. You're looking so beautiful.
You. Oh, thank you so much, Pastor
amazing.
Angie.
Resplendent is the word, you know. And, you know, we like to call her Aunty Kio as I like her to introduce herself. You know, whenever Kio talks to you, feel like it's your auntie is talking to you. You listen, you really pay attention.
Yes.
But we're really happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Pastor Angie. This is my first time being on Just Angie, and I'm really excited to be sharing this platform with you.
Excellent.
And I just want to say thank you.
Okay.
And you know, she mentioned that I'm called Aunty Kio, and that's how I'm known by a lot of people in the KBS community. Okay. But what she doesn't know, maybe what she's forgotten, it came from Althea, her daughter.
Really?
She's the one who was calling me Aunty Kio during George's wedding, George and Winnie's wedding. And
I didn't know that.
Yes, Okumba is the one who picked it up and started calling me Aunty Kio everywhere.
Oh.
So that's how it actually picked up. So it's actually come from you.
I didn't know. I
indirectly.
Out here, which is good. She must respect all her aunties and uncles around her. That's so sweet.
Yes.
She was calling you Aunty Kio, and us guys just shouting Kio.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good. It's respectful for her. Thank you, Althea. That was good. Well done for that.
Yes.
Wow. So I know, and I love your auntiness. You know, just your advisory, lovely, gentle spirit. I really love it.
Thank you.
And I wanted to say before we start, this is a beautiful top that you're wearing. So you have to give out a shout out. I hear Zoe did this.
Yes, Zoe Sevak. She has a line called Zoe Sevak Collections, and she does clothing. She does accessories like the
one in your hair.
Yes, the one on my hair right now. And so she's really up and coming. So, you know, if you ever bump into her at one of our events, please, you know, find your way and purchase. Her accessories. Yeah.
So today I'm here to talk about family. Because one day you shared with me a story, I was just looking at you like this.
Yes.
There was this family celebration you do.
Yes.
I think once a year.
Yes.
In February. You know, I was like, wow. Because of how family is important in terms of this journey of purpose and leadership and legacy.
Yes.
And this was something that was started. So I want you to tell me about it. Tell me about this day and how you do it, because it just fascinates me. And it's important for our viewers as well. People need to start getting a culture of doing things like this, like what you're about to talk about. Because for me, it's mind-blowing and it brings people together. So tell me about your family day.
Okay, so what I believe is that everything starts and ends with family. Life starts in a family.
And ends with a family.
And even when you die, it's your family that buries you in most cases. And so for us, it just felt that, you know, this whole day of Family Day was actually birthed in this environment. It was birthed by my father and his brother. Yes. So what they had thought was that, you know, the family is growing. People are getting married, children are coming into the family, they need to know where their roots have come from, where they come from. And so what we decided to do is we had a meeting, and we called all the family members, and the ones who could make it came, and we just discussed about starting a day that would honor the matriarch and the patriarch of this family.
That was his parents?
So his parents. Yes, his father was.
To honor them?
Yes. They were born in the 1800s. I know Shosho, I saw her ID just the other day. She was born in 1895.
They even had an ID?
She got it much later. But
she was born in
1895, yes. And Guka was born like in 1886 or somewhere there. So, you know, for us, our generation and our children, and now even some of my cousins' grandparents, their children, would never know this. You know, so what our parents had said is that it's good that we honor both of them.
That's so amazing.
That we go to their gravesite.
So you start by going to their gravesite?
Yes. We go to their gravesite, we go and have a service there first.
Okay, in the church?
Yes.
The church,
actually, the church is actually, it's called Church of the Torch, and they have a cemetery right next to it. So they were buried in the cemetery right there because they're the ones who also contributed in building the church.
The church. They gave the land and contributed to the church.
Yes.
You see, now that's amazing. Because in this season of honor, because we've been talking about honor and how honor unlocks things, you know?
Yes.
And somebody may be listening to us and you're looking for ways that you need to honor. That is amazing, because their memory now will always stay alive.
Yes.
So they contributed to the church.
They contributed to the church.
In terms of the land and the building.
Yes. So and they built the church. And my dad also, he used to joke that when he was 6 years old, he also contributed in laying a stone, because that's what he could lift at the time. So he also says he built the church. So
he took a part in it.
He took a part in it, exactly. And so, I mean, you know, and one of our pillars, actually, we have 4 pillars in our family.
This your family is serious.
Yes.
4 pillars.
4 pillars. And one of them is Christianity.
Yes.
And you can see it started off with our grandparents. Yes. My grandfather worked for a mission family. He was a cook. And I think, you know, during those times, he used to partake in the words that they used to speak.
Yeah, even maybe the fellowship that they used to have.
Exactly. And so he said he wanted that. And he wanted that for his family as well.
That's amazing, because, you know, we're also talking about that we have to see people have to see God in you.
Yes.
So that's a perfect example of people seeing God in him. He saw God in the missionaries.
Yes.
And then he said, I want that.
Yes.
So he became a part of that.
Yes.
And then as a result, now you have a lineage
yes.
of people who are Christians.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And also, like now, Shosho, okay, my grandfather was from Narok, Kilgoris. Now, these are also things that we learnt along the way during the family day celebrations, because there's always a part of introduction where you're told, this was where your Guka came from, this is where your Shosho came from, this is what they did, they got married in 1905. So there's a lot of information that they do share with us that you wouldn't have otherwise known. And you know, back in the day, or traditionally, a lot of these things were oral traditions. Children sit by the feet of the older people, and they're told the story. So this was kind of reenacted, but in a modern way.
But you see, I'm also thinking as you're talking, even the Jews used to gather in Jerusalem so that they can be told the story of how they crossed, how they were taken out from the Egypt, how they crossed. That story was passed on from generation to generation by being told.
Exactly.
So now you are passing on from generation to generation.
Yes.
Every generation is allowed to align with that generation. You know, the other thing I know, and I think I'm encouraging everyone, even myself, I've not yet done it, but I'd want my great-great-grandchildren to know me, maybe through a book.
Yes.
So I've written something, or through a tradition like this one.
Right.
That we are passing on this tradition where we have to meet once a year.
Yes.
Everybody comes in from everywhere, from all over. We meet to get to know each other. We get to know our heritage. We get to know our inheritance. Because now, even as you're speaking, I feel like I know Guka. Is it now your Guka?
Yes, Guka.
Like I know them. I know him. I'm aware that he wanted to be part of the missionaries. He was a cook. He got married in 1905. Now I know things about him.
Yes.
So that will enable generations that are long gone,
or,
or come after us, to know what we were about.
Yes.
They'll know what I stood for, what Kio stood for.
Exactly.
Now we know what even Ruka stood for, what Shosho stood for.
Yes.
And even your dad, what he stood for, because he said, look, we've got to honor their heritage, their lineage, and we've got to honor them by meeting once a year.
Yes. And in addition to that, I mentioned one of the pillars. There were 4 pillars. So there was Christianity. The other one was hard work. Because a lot of our grandparents worked very hard for their children to go to school with the conditions they were in. It was not very easy. So they really worked hard, and that is one thing that they want to pass on, or they've passed on to now us and to our generations. The other thing was education. I mean, you know, education is
everything. And it changed lives, didn't it? Especially our parents' lives, When they went to school, they completely changed the way their families were forever after that, you know. We like laughing. There's another cousin of mine, whenever we go to Shags, he tells me, you know, if you better thank your dad that you went to school, you'd have been in, this is your shopping center. This would have been, you would be here, this is where you'd be, you know. So thank God they got educated and were able to get out of that. Even my dad tells me a really amazing story. I mean, until today, that's another thing. I made him write a book. So I was reviewing the book the other day, and even me, I'm like, what? Discovering things about him that I never knew.
Exactly.
Like, I think the cattle from Makerere, they were told in their school, there were only going to be 17 boys who were going to go. He was number 17. Can you imagine this?
What?
Yes, he was number 17. I always think about it, that he said he took a train from Kiganjo, somewhere there in the Maveve, to all the way to Kampala.
They were very adventurous.
They were risk takers. Even your story, some of the stories you told me about your dad, they were risk takers beyond. Beyond Kio, and that was good.
I mean,
because us, we're just sitting in the comfort of our living rooms and not moving.
No, I mean, there's, you know, my dad always believed that, you know, you can do anything, because for him, pursuing education to get to America, because he wanted to study medicine. From, you know, he had to take the Queen Mary, The
ship. Was a ship.
Yes, so from here he went to South Africa, I think by bus, and then took the Queen Mary, which took a few weeks. Yeah.
It must be months, Kio, in those days. To get where? To get to the States?
To get to New York.
And you know, there's a story you told me about your dad in the States. I don't know whether I'll share, but till today, hey, I even went to America and cried tears. I shed tears. I was like,
yeah, that's when he actually landed, and he had no money. So he had to sleep in the park.
But these guys, they were living. How do you live? You see now, they wouldn't leave you to go to the neighboring county. Let alone now you take a bus from here, from Nairobi to South Africa.
So that time he was in the UK. He used to wash dishes. He was trying to earn money at that time. So from there, I think there was something about South Africa in the whole mix. But anyway, I think that's where he got his first degree. Then he was now moving on. So he took the Queen Mary, landed in New York
without any money.
But he found a lady who was really
just the miracles of God.
Yes, exactly. Who was sent to him, and
how did he find the lady?
I think she just came and found this guy in the park and started talking to him, and he was just telling her his story, and she gave him some money. And then, no, because he had to go to school, so now he had to go across the US to California, because now he was going to Stanford University. So that's where he got his degree. And so it's been a journey. And so when he talks about education, he knows the journey. He means it. And he's been, I mean, not just him, but also my uncles, my grandparents. There have been people who have supported education in many ways. And then the last pillar was family. I mean, he's like, you know, family, that's where, you know, your sanctuary is. This is where you feel you belong. This is home. And so it's so important that we know one another. There was one time we were having a meeting here as we were planning family day, and 4 of our cousins didn't know each other. They had never met. This was their first time meeting at all. And you know, these are the things where, when we were getting married, our parents used to always ask us, where are they from?
Yeah,
you
who
know,
are their parents?
all those questions.
Those questions used to irritate us.
Yes.
And even now I'm asking,
exactly.
In case this is your love that you are bringing to us and telling us that this is the person that you're going to marry and you're related.
Yes, and so through that experience, we realized that this is why our parents used to ask us these questions, because our cousins didn't know one another. And this was now the place that they were knowing each other.
Wow, I hope you've enjoyed our conversations about family. This is at the end of part 1, so we've got part 2 and part 3, just talking about families and how we can make them better. So see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.